Welcome, welcome. This is the USFL Network Presents Live. I am your host, Hype. You can find me at any store that has clearance. It's at USFL. You at USFL Facebook. Oh my God! It's at USFL Network on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We are live on Facebook, on Twitter, and YouTube. And like I said before, we're giving TikTok a try. Something our guest tonight is very popular on, by the way. Just a couple mil. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, RoyalRetros.com. They don't call themselves the king of retro for nothing. That's because they are. They've got you covered with all USFL retro gear. But with today's comfort, not only USFL, but they've got every major sport, both past and present. They've got it all. We've got you 10% off your entire purchase at checkout when you enter USFL Network. All one word, no spaces. I also want to thank everyone at the USFL Network for everything they do. You guys are the best. You're completely amazing. We wouldn't be here without each and every one of you. All right, let's go ahead and get this live underway. Introducing my co-host tonight. He wears a straight bill hat that shows his affiliation. He has ice in his veins like Paul Wall has in his teeth. He is a fast-talking Texan that loves to take a gamble. We've got Ace. Ace, where can we find your handle, sir?
You can find it on the bottom of my screen under my face. And also, if you type it in on Twitter and Instagram, it is the same handle. It is at @pocketaces_USFL. I bring you everything Houston Gamblers and USFL in general. So give me a follow.
Absolutely. And I want to go ahead and introduce our guest tonight. He is huge reality star, but most of all, he is the Michigan Panthers defensive end. We have Chase Demoor. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Chase, how are we doing tonight, man?
I'm doing so well. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Chase, we got you. You're known for your reality show. You were out there, beautiful beaches. So I had to wear my tropical shirt just for you. It's buttoned up a little more. It's buttoned up a little more than yours were, but I don't look like you, so I can't pull it off. But
it looks great. It looks outstanding, actually. Better than anything I could ever do.
Thank you. So I just wanted to thank you for coming on. I know it's been hectic, especially today being media day. It was your first night off. You took the team out to dinner, went to Topgolf. Awesome.
Yeah.
But for everybody who, they've seen everything about Too Hot to Handle, we wanted to talk a little more about football. And so for that, I wanted to take it all the way back to your high school days. And most people probably don't know that you were cut from your high school team as a freshman. And then you worked out, you got bigger. I'm sure puberty helped. And you came in. And the next year, you were a captain and an all-state player of the year. And so I just wanted to know, what training did you do to make that jump?
That's such an iconic story right there, because it's something I didn't get to really touch on a whole lot. And I think that it's really important because, I came into high school and I thought, football was going to be this easy thing that I was just going to pick up because, I come from a pretty athletic background, and, me never really working out before, thought I was just going to pick up a ball one day and throw it 80 yards because I've done it with my brothers in the backyard. And so when I came into high school as a freshman, tried to play quarterback right away, went right for the varsity spot, knowing, it was slim and numb odds that was going to happen for me. And, just going through the process, investing myself, I eventually was cut from the team. And then the only conversation that I got to have with my coach at the time was basically like, "Kid, you didn't make it." And it kind of hit me kind of hard because I was like, dang, I don't really get an explanation. I don't really get what happened, this and that. And me, I'm somebody that's always been really stubborn. I took it, kind of personal, had like a chip on my shoulder, and really engulfed myself into training after that. I was a pretty well-rounded kid, as much would say, rounded not in the good way. And I'd have my shirt buttoned up a little extra tight, if you know what I'm saying. But I got up every day and I started small. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run every single day, and I'm gonna run as far as I can for as long as I can until I can't anymore. And at first it was just to the end of the driveway, and then up the street to the store. But eventually, like any great thing, you start laying the foundation, laying the bricks of this thing, one brick after another, and eventually I got myself into pretty decent shape. Came out for the team the next year, and completely took over the league.
Well, I mean, I'm glad. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you were able to go ahead and elaborate more for yourself, because like you said, you weren't able to go ahead and tell people that side of the story, which was great. I'm glad you were able to get that opportunity with us. So
Yeah,
it's
and
nice
I
touch.
think yeah, I think it's really important for like a lot of these young kids, these young guys out there that want to play football. Just because right then and there was not your moment does not mean that your moment's not gonna come. I think that
Hmm.
that's an important message to touch on. A lot of these kids who are struggling right now, trying to make a team, trying to get some play time. Like, guys, relax, take a breather. You got some time.
Not to say they'll be
Absolutely.
a big Netflix star someday, but maybe they'll make their high school team.
Right.
So we set
Baby
reasonable
steps.
goals.
Yeah. So Chase, did you know, as far as the football career, let me see here. Did you know you wanted a career in football before you were even cut, in high school? Did you have that, as a goal in
uh,
mind?
I think it's tough to say because like in my head, I was always that kid in school that was like what's the word, like I dreamed really big. I was an aim for the stars, land on the stars type of guy. And I remember one of the first times I ever got sent out of class was because I was arguing with my third grade teacher about her telling me I needed to pick something like realistic. Like I told her I want to be the first astronaut ninja in space, and she said, Chase, you need to pick something realistic. And I told her, you know what, you teach third grade and I'm going to be a ninja astronaut in space. She gave me two options. She said you could either, go to the principal's office or you can apologize. And, I had a nice long lunch with the principal that day. So.
I mean, maybe that's next for Chase, astronaut
Hey,
ninja.
at this point, you never know.
The
You just take
sky's
some.
literally the limit.
Yeah,
Just
I
go to
think
space with Jeff Bezos.
exactly, and I think at the time I would say no. I didn't think too much in football. I just I was the type of guy that saw I just want to get to Friday night first. I'm tired of playing on Mondays with the JV team. I want to play under some lights with some cheerleaders and a couple of cute girls in the stands watching me do my thing, and then you get on that football field and then you kind of forget about all of that, and then it's just me versus them. And I think that I take everything so personal that I was more focused on I'm going to do everything in my possible ability to show you that yes, we're playing the same game, but we're on two different levels. So,
And it shows in your film. But back in college, you started your college career. You went to, this is insane to try and say, is it Siskiyous?
yes, College of the Siskiyous.
Siskiyous.
Siskiyous. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So you played at the College of Siskiyous in California before you transferred to Central Washington. And,
Yes.
online you can't really find what was the reason. How did you, find Central Washington? What was the story behind the move?
Man, you guys are asking a lot of great questions that not a lot of people know. So here's the story behind that. Like I said, I didn't have intent of going to college in high school, nor did I have intent on being a collegiate athlete. It wasn't until my senior year where everybody was talking about how all the people from my high school go to this local D3 school, and in my head I'm sitting here thinking like, I'm just somebody that just never, as you guys see from my reality TV shows, never really fit the mold for anything. And I felt like I wanted something more, and so I obviously didn't take the classes in high school to be eligible for Division I football. So I decided to go to College of Siskiyous, which was a junior college. I was out there for a while, had like a lot of success out there, met a lot of really great people. But the problem was, it was one of those schools that, one, just was really low funded, didn't have like a lot of help. It was obviously a junior college, didn't record like a whole lot of stats for me. It was tough to really get all of the tape that I needed, but luckily I performed really well in front of like a lot of scouts. Received a couple Division I offers. One in particular that I was actually committed to was the University of Nevada, Reno, with Brian Polian. The year that he actually got removed from the coaching staff. So that summer I took all these classes so I could leave to go play Division I football. Try to leave junior college early. And it came back that he was leaving, and the new coach he wanted me to switch positions, and I was gonna have to put on like 40 pounds in like a couple months to go do this thing, which is like almost unheard of. And so at the time I had a girlfriend of 6 years, and I was just a kid that was kind of homesick, and Central Washington, where I'm from, kind of popped up with an offer, full ride, which is a blessing, and they were a program on the rise, and basically, my girlfriend at the time was tired of me being away. I was tired of being away, and I made a really young and emotional decision to not pursue my other Division I offers and to commit to Central Washington, where I also had immense amounts of success at. And so I think everything happens for a reason. But moral of the story, like, that was the predominant reason that happened.
Man, I'm so jealous. I wish that I had someone telling me to put on 40 pounds. It's the opposite, but whatever. But whether it be in, Cali or Central Washington, where was it that you discovered you had a knack for blocking punts? Did that just happen? Where was that? Where was the first time you did it and you were like, whoa?
I think it was in high school, actually. I think, it goes back to that saying where people say, field goals are almost like a guaranteed point. And I'm just, like I said, I've always been like that, the black sheep. And I was like, you know what? This is not going to be guaranteed if I have anything to say about it. And I think everybody has like their superpower. Some people are really good pass rushers or run stoppers or run blockers, or they got a deep arm or they're really accurate. I think, I have a lot of really, tangible, traits that make me a great football player. But I think my superpower is the ability to block those kicks and find, wiggle room in tight spaces with really heavy guys. And I think, I started doing it. I think the biggest moment I did it in was, back in my first college. We were playing like the number 1 ranked team, and it came down to a field goal. And my coach subbed me in just to see if I could do it, and it was in triple overtime, and I did it, and it felt really good. And I remember all my teammates were just thanking me, like it was like I ran a kickback, for a game-winning. We still had to score, but like they were just thanking me because I gave them an opportunity to. I think that moment, it felt really good, and I think that. I realized right then and there that I had something that most people didn't. And I just, I studied like a lot of film. I, worked on the craft a lot. And then when I got to Central Washington, I got moved to the field goal block team, punt block team. And we didn't get scored on very much. And every time we did get scored on, it was just an opportunity for me to, basically pad my stats a little bit more. So.
Well, there you go. And you talked about working on your craft, which took my next question. So, Hype, what's up?
Yeah. As far as, so we kind of saw a gap in your football after college. What were you doing before the IFL?
So I actually never got an opportunity to go to the IFL. I got a contract with them after, I was released from the Montreal Alouettes. I didn't get to go to Canada either. I actually got signed to them, trained all of 2020. The season got canceled, but got lucky. How I got onto reality television was, purely because that season got canceled. So like I said, it goes back to everything happening for a reason. I think that once I came back, I got renewed with my contract, and then like right after they renewed it, they had like a numbers problem with the whole COVID protocol, and so I got released. And I was kind of looking for the next opportunity, and right away, obviously I lived in Arizona. I had the coaches offer me a contract almost immediately. I signed it before, not going. I ended up, going to the spring league instead, where, believe it or not, I blocked, a few more kicks and won a championship. So.
Speaking of which, though, there was also something that I wanted to bring up. What about Starbucks?
Oh yes, I had like a thing where I was like, starting your girlfriend's day off on the right note. I had her coffee waiting for her, and I think it helped me on reality television. I think that yes, I was a barista. I was actually, a lot of people don't know this as well, I was a certified coffee master. And for those people that don't know that, it's the extra Starbucks people that go in there and they do like their studying, and they take this really hard exam, and basically you do all of this work just to get a black apron that says coffee master on it in your name. And so a lot of people don't know this, but I am one of the very few coffee masters before they actually got rid of the program. So I was actually working there in college throughout I think up until the beginning of 2021. And I think that actually right when I left for Two Out the Handle. And I think that best college job you could ask for. I had food, I had coffee, and I got to meet a lot of really pretty girls. So.
You were also working out too at the 253 as well at the same time, right? Yeah.
I was working at 253 Fitness. That is ground zero right there. Indoor field every single day. And like the way that worked is I would open at Starbucks. So I was waking up 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, had to be at work by 4, opened at 4:30, worked from 4:30 to really like 4 to around 9:30, and then left work, went straight to on-site 253 Fitness, worked out there from 11 o'clock to about 2 p.m. every day. Then I would make my TikTok videos in the afternoon, and then at nighttime between like 7, 8 o'clock, I was still a full-time student. So I was doing online school and stuff. So I was really busy, that whole year.
That sounds
Definitely
absolutely brutal.
Yeah, no, it does. It really does. Now,
He's like,
on a lighter
it's the best college job.
College.
Terrible.
on a lighter note, going back to the spring league, how was it to play in Lucas Oil Stadium? What was that experience like?
Man, oh man, boys. When I say there's very few moments where you really just look around and just nothing matters and you just have to be there. Lucas Oil, incredible stadium. Like that thing, to be in an NFL stadium is one thing, but to be on the field is another, and then it's an entire different beast to be able to play a football game on an NFL field. And I think that was the moment where I was like, you know what, this is in my blood, and I'm gonna do this for as long as I can. And I think that the lights, sounds, whether there was fans in there or not, it was so surreal.
Yeah, there was a lot of restrictions too around that time, though, right? With the COVID restrictions and things like that, as far as capacity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like we
Yeah.
could only have like, I don't know, like maybe every guy got to bring like 2 fans, I think. Like it was nothing. We couldn't bring anybody in there.
So I had a
Can you
question though.
imagine?
I'm sorry, Ace.
I was gonna say, can you imagine having to be in the nosebleeds like for that game?
Right.
Like, dude, I can see there's a section open next to the field. And they're like, no, sir, you're 425.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit way up there, section 43A. That skyscraper.
Yeah, they're like, you're in section 425, last row. Please go sit.
Yeah.
So I seen a clip of Lucas Oil. I watched pretty much everything that you had out there, and there was guys in, I think it was construction uniforms. Was that your friends, or was that just people that were working there?
No, so we were the linemen. A lot of people don't know, but linemen are construction workers essentially that work on the power lines, and Indianapolis is, basically like the homeland security for that. Basically, like they're like the foundation of it, and we reached out to them. Coach Halmummy and all the other coaching staff reached out to the local linemen of the city to let them know, like, hey, we're here to play football. We are representing you guys. We would be honored if you guys could make it to a couple of our games. And we actually got connected with the head of the union. I know a lot of those times you'll see us in like the long sleeve white t-shirts that have a number on the side. That was actually their union number that we were repping on the field. And so these guys would come and have a blast. We had like the biggest fan base in the entire spring league, and these guys would come, they'd bring their entire work crews and their lunch pallets right after work, and they'd come there and they'd scream at the other team for us. And we were kicking butt too. So they were loving it. We were representing them really tough. We ended up winning the entire spring league, and Coach Halmummy actually gave them the trophy to the spring league.
Oh, what a moment! And I seen that, and I'm like, I got to bring that up because that's just unique. Just to have those, like, who are they? Are they workers? Are they friends? Like, who are they? And I just it was like it was just a great shot. So I wanted to bring it up. So.
Oh yeah, no, they were amazing. They're good dudes, all of them. I miss them all to this day.
That's super cool. Like you were wearing their union number and stuff.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that linemen meant like they were power line workers and stuff. That's super cool.
Yeah, they were actually so great. They would barbecue us food all the time, and we were there during the Indy 500. They rented out a whole spot for us at the Indy 500, and we were out there. We had hot dogs and soda and all that stuff. So we were having a great time out there with the boys watching race cars. So
that is awesome. So you almost played in the IFL, almost played in the CFL, you played in the TSL, all the L's, you got them covered.
Yeah, I had my brief cup of coffee in the NFL as well. I was over there working out with the Seahawks for quite some time there before, that all went to heck. So
real quick, do you still have the backpack?
The Seahawks backpack?
Yeah.
Of course, it's not here
I was
with
just,
me, but
Steven, I notice things and I just have to bring them up because I'm like that. When I do the research, I try to like find
that's good.
something, you know?
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, obviously with the Seahawks, like anytime you're in it, you'll see it from a lot of these guys too. Anytime you're in an NFL team, like you'll know which team every guy is on, whether they've been cut, they were there.
Yeah.
You kind of get like a hunch, and like obviously I have like a lot of Seahawks stuff because when I was there, I was taking everything. I need this.
Right. Definitely.
Dude, I would too. And Hype's not lying when he says that he deep dives. Like he gets so much information, he had to start putting asterisks next to specific things that he wanted in questions because I write them. And
Yeah.
I mean, so much information on you. I feel like I already know you.
And it's
No,
not
this
even
guy's
just
good. This
reality.
guy's
It's
good.
not just reality. I mean, it's just football. It's like the minor things that I look for, and I take pride in that. So I always want to make sure, all right, if this is something that has not been asked, because you have been all over the place. So I want to make sure there's something that we find in each interview or each person we talk to that hasn't been asked yet, or that you can elaborate like you have already done on something. And that's what I try my hardest to do so. So.
No, you're killing it. You're crushing it, dude. Like you're asking all the right questions that nobody's ever asked before. So this is good stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, our goal is just we don't want you to give an answer that you already kind of have rehearsed, right? We want to catch you off guard. We want to bring your walls down, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I think I just met Chase." So that's what we're gonna do.
You guys are on the way.
There you go. So, like I had said, you played in all the L's. I had left out the NFL. The NFL. That was a later question, but now we have it covered. So, the fact that you did play in the TSL, though, do you think that that gives you an upper hand on guys who maybe have only gone and played on practice squads for NFL teams, or if they came straight from college? Do you think having already played in an alternative football league gives you a leg up?
That's a good question as well, and I think absolutely. I think especially in this league where it's a lot of guys that are from the TSL as well. I think the thing about what the TSL did really well is it found a lot of talented players that have been around the block, essentially have been on active and practice rosters in the NFL. And I think that, playing in that TSL is like more of guys that have gotten play time in these leagues that know what it's like to go against, pros, taking pro snaps. I think, that's a huge advantage against, college guys and these indoor guys who, have gone against, a very mediocre competition. And I think that, it raises the bar. It's one of those situations where it's like, if you either sink or you swim. And I think, obviously once you swim for a while, you realize that, swimming's not as hard as most make it seem. So definitely an advantage.
Heck yeah. Indoor football fans, we apologize.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh man! So we obviously went and watched your film. I know I have immensely, covering training camp and things like that. But what do you think Jeff Fisher saw on your tape that made him grab you in the last round of the DNs?
So Jeff Fisher got access to a different type of film than what I was able to put out there. The only film that I got to put out was my college film, obviously, and then my mid-season highlights from the spring league of like clips that I had like an editor throw together for me. So I had something. Coach Fisher obviously had full access to all the spring league tape, so he got to watch snap by snap, play by play. Guys, a defensive genius. He's a defensive head coach actually, and he has done a great job, helping us understand assignments, bringing in our D-line coach, Coach Drake, who's been outstanding since I've been here. Like all these little things that, Coach Fisher has done to allow a lot of us to be successful. I think it all started with how he recruited individuals. I think you guys would be really pleased to learn that all of us on the Michigan Panthers, defensive line in general, we're all so unique and so different from one another that it works really well. I think one thing you guys would like a lot is like obviously my teammate Wale, him and I won the championship last year in the spring league. We were both the defensive ends in that, and he knows what he's doing when he brings in edge rushers, edge guys, and I think that being an edge guy does put a target on you, but at the same time it's a big role to fill, and with a big role to be filled, he's not just going to put anybody there, so.
Speaking of which, the spring league, looking at the tape too, as soon as I watched it, I seen a former guest that we had on, Josh Allen, and had reached out to him. Jalen Allen. I'm so sorry, Jalen Allen. a teammate of yours in the locker room, and you guys were celebrating together. So I was actually going to have him on, but he was kind of busy at the moment. So I was going to have him come on and say what's up to you, because he did mention that you guys were boys. So I just wanted to bring that up too. So
That's my
I'm like,
guy right
that's
there.
Jalen right there. That's got to be Jalen. Let me reach out to him, and he's a good friend of the network. So I reached out to him, and a little busy, but I understand you guys have so much going on. But I just wanted to bring that up too. So
No, Jalen's an outstanding player. That guy, he's actually the only lineman from the spring league that's currently here right now. So it was nice seeing another familiar face. I think there's about four or five of us from my spring league team here.
okay.
Oh, he's a great fan of the show. Like he was awesome. So as soon as he was like, yeah, Chase Demoor, that's my guy, we were like, well, then he's ours. We're gonna get him on the show. So
Let's do it.
we're like, if he has your stamp of approval. But
dude.
So it's obvious that you love the game. You love football. It's gotten you this far in life. Other things as well, but we're focusing on the football. And I'd like to ask just a little more of a serious question, because we had read that your passion and your drive for football came from wanting an avenue, a way to get out of a situation that you were in at home. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, so I grew up, not in the best possible setting. I would say to a lot of people. I think I come from a very low poverty and dangerous area, and I think that watching a lot of the things that I saw as a kid made it really tough, because it's really easy to get roped into that type of situation and to take the easier path of just hanging out with the guys that are in your environment and becoming a product of that environment. I think I have an older brother that I don't talk about a lot, who is only a year older than me, a year and a half, maybe 2 years older than me now. But him and I had the same exact opportunities presented to us, and he's down a very different path than I am, and I think that shows where football came into my life and changed it. Is like I took football as more of people have this fantasy that they can tell me because I come from a certain area or I look a certain way, that I'm going to be a certain thing. And I think that goes back to that chip on my shoulder, where I took it as, if you don't like your story, then you have the ability to rewrite it. And I've always been that guy that's like, give me the worst possible cards, because I've always gotten the worst possible cards. And let me play my hand in and see what I can do with this. So.
Well, I absolutely love your vulnerability and honesty, man. Thank you. I actually have a quote from you here that talks about adversity, and I think it fits what you say now perfect. And it says, adversity doesn't change you as a person. Adversity reveals who you are. When adversity strikes you, go back to your learning. A lot of the times people reach a certain level of success that when adversity strikes, their character can't match it. Don't be that person. What made you what made you say that originally?
Yeah, it's something my pops and I used to talk about all the time. He used to talk about how anytime you're in a situation that what's the word, like an abnormal situation, something that you're not used to, you don't really figure it out on the fly. I think you revert back to what you know. Humans are creatures of habit, and I think that adversity is one of those things where it's like it's not about who you are when things are going good. It's about how you respond when things are going bad. I think it goes back to, when I say that, I'm saying, like, if you have somebody, for example, that is very successful but grew up extremely privileged, had every opportunity presented to him, and then when something bad happens, like, for example, say they made $100,000 and they invested into the stock market, and then the stock market, crashes and they lose all their money, they're not going to know what to do, because their training has been always getting things handed to them. And I think that when people talk about character and people talk about adversity, I think you build character early on in your life. I don't think it's something that you're born with. I think it's something you develop. And I think that your training, i.e., for example, me, grew up very hard, but my training was work hard and get out of a situation. So when adversity strikes me, I don't just say, I'm used to this and take it. I go back to my training of building character and saying, okay, this is going bad. Let me find a way to work and get out of this. And I think that it reveals who you are as a person. I think that people sometimes, when they have like immense amount of success, that their character can't keep up with it, and so they reach a certain level of success to, do really well for themselves. But as soon as something happens where their character becomes exposed, you can really see them for who they are, if that makes sense.
So it's like a play hard but work harder on yourself type situation. That's what I got out of it, which is great.
Exactly. I think it more means that what you do when people aren't watching will speak louder than what you do while everybody's watching.
Definitely. Thank you.
Honestly, I got to say, we just had Arnold Tarpley III from the Maulers on last night, and we said that he was like a motivational speaker when he was talking. And you are too. And I honestly think,
Yes.
Hype, we should start making people pay to
Yes.
watch these. We're getting legitimate advice for
Yes.
life. It's like we're just giving it out for free. No, but that's awesome, man. And that's a lesson that I think a lot of people could take to heart and just use every day, even for little things, letting things get to you. And that's great. And,
yeah, exactly.
But you had mentioned your dad, and I know that you lost him when you were 10, but even on your social media today, we can see that he's still a huge influence in your life. And I wanted to know, like, how does he continue to drive you and motivate you even while he's, gone?
So it's a funky question, because like I don't know if you guys have noticed, doing your research or not. I never specifically used the term dad. I always say pops.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I use the word pops is because I have a grandpa whose name is Pop. We called him Papa. But I would call my dad and him both pops. And anytime I'm talking about one or the other, my dad, yes, he passed away when I was 10. But after he passed away, I had my other pops, who also called pops, and I had until I was 18 before he passed away. And between the both of them, they were both really, extraordinary men. And they, my dad specifically taught me a lot of lessons when I was younger. It goes back to me getting kicked out of class. Him asking me why I got sent out of class in trouble, and me telling him why, and then he took me to get ice cream, and he's more proud of me than anything. But he was also the first guy to tell me, like, it's okay to lose sometimes too. And after he passed, it's one of those really, really sad situations that you never really know when the last time you're going to see somebody is. And I never really got to say bye or like I love you to my dad before I never saw him again. I think moving later in life, when I had my grandpa, I was very much more appreciative, because I knew I was on a burning clock with him too. And I think I listened a lot more at that point, and I would hear the things that he would tell me. And he was always, my grandpa is he's a lot like me. He had MS. He was stuck. He was paralyzed in a bed, and the guy smiled and had lived his best life, for 20 years, stuck inside one bedroom. And, I'm sitting here thinking, like, if I was stuck in a bed, inside of a bedroom for 20 years, like, I don't think I would be a fraction of that man. And I think, I weigh that a lot on me, because it's like, if he can still lead a family, if he can still find positives in all of the negative things, then so can I. He used to tell me there's a lot worse things going on in this world. I'm sitting here thinking, like, dude, you're stuck in a bed. Like, you can't even leave the room. What do you mean there's worse things going on? And even when he was getting ready to pass away, and he found out he had cancer, it was hard for me, because I felt like he was giving up. But to him, when I asked him about it, he made a joke about it. He's like, "Oh, I'm on the next cloud out of here." I'm like, dude, like, you can't be joking right now. Like, that's not the time to be joking. I'm about to try to lead this family without you. So they're both really good dudes, and so that's why they have such an impact on my life, even to this day. So.
Well, you threw us a curveball there with the pops and the pops, but honestly, I think it led to a fantastic answer. So, at first I was like, oh man, I messed up. And I hate messing up on questions, but I'm glad that it led us there. That was great. But, that was more serious questions. And once we hit more serious questions, I like to lead that into our fun segment. It's a recurring segment we have on our show. It was created by our Breakers representative, Webb, and it's called Webb's Rapid Incoming Breakdown, where I'm going to ask you 4 questions, not necessarily football related, and you just answer first thing off the top of your head. Sound good?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
I did this
Number
for media
one.
day today too.
Number 1, and I think that this came from
These won't be media questions.
Yes. This came from, I think it was a Instagram story you posted like yesterday or something. I was at work and I saw it. Whose side are you on, Will Smith or Chris Rock?
Oh, Will Smith. Let's talk about my
Will
wife.
Smith.
Let's talk about my wife, boy.
All right. What is one song that you work out to right now? Like the song.
I listen to Popular Loner by Rod Wave.
All right, there we go. In a Chase Demoor biopic, if they were to make a Hollywood movie about you, who plays you?
Ooh.
You're already a
Brown.
star, so this is really okay. Chris
Wait, who
Brown.
did he say?
He said Chris Brown. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chris Brown.
Hey man, Chris Brown's been in some movies and he's actually pretty good, so I agree with that.
I mean, Chase, if I were you, I'd say Chase Demoor. Play yourself, man.
Myself. What do you guys mean?
And then last question 4. Who was the most influential person for your football career, and who was the most influential for your social media career?
Most influential for my football career is definitely my grandpa, my papa, my pops. And then for my social media career, it's the real Dockery. That dude was the first media influencer I've ever met, and he kind of showed me the ropes when I was getting started. So, Dockery, shout out to you, dog.
There we go. I thought that would be a little harder question, but that was easy. All right.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, we're going to go ahead and touch base, of course. There are going to be some people here for the too hot to handle questions. So you did once say, going back just a bit, if you could have, you would have gone after Kayla Jean. Why? The first question would be why, and can you just DM her? Yeah, can't you just DM her?
No. Kayla, I love Kayla. I talk to Kayla all the time. To this day, me and Kayla have a great relationship.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the reason why is because before Kayla got sent home, I had a great conversation with Kayla, and I realized that her and I were very much compatible and a good match. And I think that by the time I realized that, she was already leaving the show, so I didn't really get to explore it. So that's why I say, like, you know, I love Kayla. I think that Kayla and I would have done really well together.
Appreciate it. There's the answer. All right. I know there was going to be some people watching, you know, Chris Demoor, too hot to handle, Netflix reality star. That question had to be thrown in there.
Of course.
But then, so do you think, where am I going? Do you think you'd have been drafted without Netflix and your social media being able to get your tape out there a little more? Do you think that helped, or do you think your tape just speaks for itself?
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. Oh,
we'll never know. I think if I'm giving you a real answer, honestly, I guess we'll never know, because like I think that's the most truest way to answer that question, because like fair. It's not something I have to really worry about.
Right.
But
right.
regardless, I think exactly I'm here. You know, I got the hat on and I'm doing the thing. So I think that I think if anything, what I've learned since being here is it definitely puts a giant target on me. I think you come here and people have this expectation that I'm going to be, you know, soft because I got, you know, the pretty skin and all the followers and the TV, all that. And it's not typical football mannerisms, but it goes back to what I say, you know, I've never fit in the mold anyway. It's always been that really annoying puzzle piece that just refuses to stick.
Well, you know, I asked that, but here at the USFL Network, we do think that your tape speaks for itself, so no worries.
Mm-hmm. And then, I appreciate it, guys.
As a big, fast edge rusher, what player in the NFL would you compare your talent and skill set to?
I'm very much like Grady Jarrett, very much so. Him and I play very similar roles. We both wear the number 97, and you know, I study a lot of his tape. So, you know, shout out Grady Jarrett.
All right, and then Hype. Go ahead.
You want me to take the next one? All right, I apologize. So you mentioned in another interview, I'm sorry, we're all over the place. It's been a long day. In another interview about possibly playing tight end. Is that still a thing into training camp?
I am taking reps at tight end. A lot of fans would be happy to hear that. Do not be surprised if number 97 is scoring, you know, like 6 or 7 touchdowns this year.
Nice. I mean, you got the
good to know
skill
from the
set.
fantasy
Yeah.
article.
Yeah.
I do
And
have the best
absolutely.
hands, as most would say. So
I mean, not
Okay.
OBJ, but you do have some great hands, right?
you tell OBJ to give me a call. We'll talk about it.
Oh, man. That's great.
All right. So now we're over a week into training camp, and I heard in another interview that you had been DMing with both Shea Patterson and Paxton Lynch. And I wanted to know, in your eyes, how is the quarterback battle going? And you had kind of mentioned they were possibly just going to be splitting time, and that was the scheme. Is that still like there, or is it a full-on QB battle?
Well, Shea Patterson and Paxton Lynch are both two entirely different players, and I think that both of them bring a unique skill set and a great leadership qualities to this team. I think Shea's more of like very serious, hard nosed, get to the point of it, whereas Pax is more of like the laid back, like laughing, having a good time out there type of guy. But both of them are dropping dimes. Both of them are out there competing. And I think that we make a joke, an ongoing joke around here is we call Shea QB1, but sometimes we like to throw a little salt in there. We'll be like QB 0.5 because both of them. I think both of them could start essentially, but I think those two, both of them are starters in this league. I think both of them are starters in the NFL, and I think that Shea has proven it, at Michigan and at Ole Miss. And I think that, Pax has proven it, obviously he was a first rounder. And I think that, I was speaking to both of them, before we came here, got to know them over DMs. As a defensive guy, I have nothing to gain from talking to them. So I think they gave me their most genuine, authentic selves. It's not like I'm a wide receiver, reaching out like, hey, throw me the ball. I'm a defensive end. I'm coming to, take their head off essentially. And I think that I could see them getting game planned. I think, if we needed a bigger quarterback because, the opposing team's like defensive line is just animals and they're hitting really hard. I could see Pax going and I could see, if the other team, doesn't have that, I could see Shea going. And I think it's going to come down to, whoever takes that first snap week 1. I think it's going to come down to, the situation that we're in, to be honest with you. I think both of them are QB1. So
it's more situational. Makes sense. Definitely. So you posted earlier, we've seen the pictures about Media Day. How was that? A well-needed break. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Yeah, it was good.
No.
It was good. It was much needed break. We still had practice today. I just got moved to later. But the pictures I posted kind of did me dirty because it was a picture of a picture, so it made me look short and stubby.
Thank you. I wanted to point it out so bad, and my girlfriend was like, "Please don't. He's Chase." I was like, "It's hilarious," but thank you.
No, yeah, it's a picture of a picture. So I think I was taking the picture with my phone like this, so the angle was off. I don't know. I thought they looked cool, so I posted them. I'll probably end up deleting them regardless. And I think I had a lot of fun at Media Day. I was one of the few people that had like on the card sheet they gave us. I posted a video of it. It had like all the boxes on it, like X'd. And so that means you have to go to each one of those media outlets, and a lot of people didn't have that. So I was really busy today doing that. And I think it was a blast, to be honest with you. They had all the lights and all the tunnels and all the music, and it was Fox was there, NBC was there. They were just making it so lighthearted and fun that you kind of just forget that, in a couple of weeks here, we're going to be on the football field, but, at each other's throats.
Well, I mean, going through everything you've gone through today, thank you so much for taking the time, for the past 45 minutes to come on with us. I appreciate it even more so.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Ace, you want to go ahead and finish it up?
Yes. So I have just 2 more questions. One, you recently tweeted suggesting that everyone should reach out to 5 people they care about, but they don't normally reach out to. And I was wondering, off the top of your head, who are your 5 people? And do you want to just give them a shout out right now?
My 5 people that I want to reach out to is my friend Tyron. He's big, one of my best friends in college. My friend Tony, he's going through the process. My friend Gabrielle, my friend Zay, my friend William and my friend all the Calvin. Like I could go on and on and on. These are all people that mean the world to me, and you know, sometimes I forget to talk to them every single day. But these are all, you know, my family members essentially. You know, with all my best friends. So love them all.
That is awesome. And then I just have one more question. You're known for doing a lot of TikTok dances. You said 6 or 7 touchdowns. We're going to see some TikTok dances in the end zone?
Oh, 1,000%. The first
Let's go.
sack, the first big play is going to be a TikTok dance. You can guarantee it.
That is awesome. Well, that's all I got. Hype, give it back to you.
Well, Chase, thank you once again so much for coming on. This is the end. I appreciate it. Like I said before, you had a long day, and I just want to thank you for coming on. What we usually do at the end of the show is we give the floor to you to say anything that's on your mind. Any shout outs. I know you just did, you know, your 5 shout outs, but if there's any, you know, inspiration, whatever the case may be, we give this platform for you. You know, we do this just for you guys anyway. So, I mean, if there's anything you want to go ahead and close the show out with, the floor is yours.
I just want to come on here and tell anybody that's listening, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. I just want you guys to know that, you know, like in life, you're going to get a lot of curveballs and you're going to get a lot of, you know, trials and tribulations and obstacles. And you're going to have people that aren't going to believe in you. And you're going to have people that are going to believe in you. At the end of the day, none of that stuff really matters. And, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, if you really don't like your story, then you have the power to rewrite it. And so I would tell everybody listening to this, rewrite your story and make it a good one. So when you get to the other side of this thing, you got something good to tell.
Very well said.
Awesome.
Very well said. Well, I want to thank you again, Chase, for coming on. This has been the USFL Network. And Chase, good luck this season. And, you know, whatever you have going on after this season, we hope to see you in the NFL, of course. And I'm assuming this is that would be your main goal, you know, making it to the NFL. So can't wait to see you on game day. Thank you so much again. Can't thank you enough. But if you can, stay on as we go out, okay?
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Absolutely.